Hey Stash fans, welcome to the Mully Stash Show. I'm at the airport, I am traveling. It is time to go get the hounds. I am flying out to Phoenix, hopefully. My flight's been delayed like twice so far, so I'm going to miss my connecting flight. There's no direct flights, so I could get a connecting flight in Dallas or California, and really, who wants to go to California? I'd rather go to Texas. So, I might have no choice, but I was supposed to arrive really late tonight. It looks like, as it's going, I'm going to be arriving tomorrow, and I was supposed to hit the road tomorrow. Anyway, so I'm traveling, and I'm just posting a quick update. I haven't posted in a while. I built a fence, and I broke that down into about 8 or 9 episodes. Well, I'm going to break that down into about 8 or 9 episodes, and I recorded for like 8 hours a day or 12 hours a day when I was building the fence. So it's going to take a while to take that 8 hours and put that into 15 minutes. Don't photobomb me, jerk. Anyway. So I haven't posted that, and then I started, because it's a new year, I'm starting a new series called Man Skills, where Mully teaches skills that, could be passed down from father to son, and then, or grandfather to father, father to son, skills like that. Like maybe about pocket knives, or axe sharpening, or chopping firewood, or building a fence. Just general skills that every man should know. Women too, I guess. Anywho, I've been recording some of that stuff. I haven't got a chance to make it into videos yet because I literally have just been spending all day, every day working on this fence. And then the first episode of Man Skills, well, the first episode I tried making was on Christmas Day, where I showed to take a tree that you find in the woods, chop it up into firewood. But I think I might have accidentally overwrote that footage. If not, it's going to be a little late because I made it on Christmas. Sorry. And then the second one, or maybe the new first one, I built a throwing axe target. Very good for a father to know to build for his kids. Sons or daughters could throw axes. It's a very good family sport. When I was young, they had yard darts. Apparently, yard darts aren't a thing anymore, so they let you throw axes. Anyway, so I ran into some problems with my filming. I have my memory card for my camera is filled, and my external hard drive I built to put all that stuff on is filled with all the footage building the fence. So I only got like the half of the episode of building the axe target. All the same, I'm waiting for the glue to dry. I glued it 2 days ago. It's still wet because it's been like thunderstorms every day for probably about 2 weeks now. It's just so humid. So the glue's not drying. And I'm just giving a quick update. I will eventually, as soon as I get back from my trip, I will start working on converting those videos to episodes. But like I said, it might be difficult going through 8 hours of footage to 15 minutes. What do I want to show? I don't know. I'll figure it out. It's kind of fun, but taking 8 hours of working on a fence and put it into 15 minutes really isn't a man skill. It's watch Mully work. So we'll see. Anyway, yeah, I'm at the airport. I got this cocktail. I'm in New Orleans, also called NOLA for New Orleans, Louisiana, NOLA, or Crescent City, or the Big Easy. Obviously, you guys know where I'm at right now, at the airport. And I ordered a Sazerac. They don't have one, which is strange because that is like the New Orleans cocktail. I'm like, what do you have for whiskey drinks? They're like, we have old fashioned. I'm like, sure. I'm like, make it with a rye. They're like, okay. So then they sat it to me, and I started drinking on it, and they just stood there looking at me, and then they went to the cash register, and they're like, oh, it's $15. I'm like, huh. So, Mully is not happy with a $15 glass of bitters, because mostly she put some cherries in there, she put an orange in there, and she muddled that, and then she put about a half a bottle of bitters in there, which I'm not a bitters fan. I go light on the bitters, if you remember. And then she put just a little splash of whiskey in there, so... Anyway, I'm just giving a little update, and there will definitely be more videos to come, but in the next few days I will be on the road. I'm having one of my friends help me drive the hounds back, and his semester starts on Monday. He's in graduate school too, and it's Thursday. We won't hit the road till Friday, and his flight back to Phoenix is on Sunday, so that means we have Friday, Saturday to get back. and it's doable. It's 1,600 miles. Pretty close. It's almost exact. It's not. It's a few, give or take a few miles, but it's pretty close to 1,600 miles. And I did that by myself when I came to visit the college in 2.5 days. Took it easy. He thinks we can do it straight through, but you know, he's 10 or 12 years younger than me, so he's got that let's go, let's get it done attitude, and I'm like, all right, 16 hours in a car with the dogs is a long time, or 1,600 miles, sorry, in a car with the dogs is a long time. And then when I came out to check out the school, I made it to Texas the first day, and I was in West Texas, and it was dark. Like there's a mine tour you could go to in Arizona, and they shut off the lights. You're like 100 feet underground, and it's dark. I mean, you guys don't know dark until you go to a mine underground, and you think you know dark. You think it's dark at night. You think you can shut yourself in your room and block out the windows. No. No. And this is the way West Texas is. It was like a freshly tarred road, so they didn't have road lines. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, or I mean, there wasn't a star in the sky. It was cloud covered. There was no moon. It was spooky. And the speed limit's like 80 or 85 or something, so you're going. And it's too fast for the headlights. And then after I ran over a jackrabbit, I was already in the car for like 12 hours. I said, nah, because I came and there's this rabbit with these big, stupid ears standing in the middle of the road. And, you know, when you're going 80 or 85, whatever the speed limit is, you can't. Hold on. I have no clue what she said. Anyway, I still got like an hour till they board. Anyway, so it's dark, and he thinks we're just going to drive right through that, and maybe he can drive that part. That might be the second worst cocktail I've ever had in my life. It's bad. It's at this place called Atrium Lounge. Shame on them. Anywho, I'm rambling on. I'm just making anyway, the point of this is I'm making a road trip real quick, and then when I get back, I'm just kind of touching base with you guys that I will start working on those fence videos and my new series, Man Skills. A lot of the skills were taught to me by my father, that were taught to him by his father, but some I learned myself, you know, being an iron worker previously. And some I just pick up along the way, or you make up as you go. When I built this fence, I was a metal worker for many years, so I didn't have woodworking tools, but I managed to make it work with metalworking tools. And I went to a big box store and I got this $7 hatchet. Well, initially I bought this hatchet for throwing because I throw axes now for fun, or hatchets, or both. And I didn't really have a saw. I mean, I have a circular saw that my dad got in like '74 that he gave to me, and the blade had a crack. So I used it if I had to, but I didn't have the right tools for the job, so I used this hatchet and I used a hammer. And I just used that for, I mean, this hatchet so far, I've used it as a throwing weapon. I've used it as a defense weapon when I got attacked by that dog. Well, I didn't use that particular hatchet, I used something else, but I've carried it for a defensive weapon since I got attacked by the dog. I've used it as a chisel, I've used it as a hammer, I've used it as a mallet, I've used it as a knife, I've used it as like a pencil sharpener, I've used it as like a splitting, to split like a board, you know, like a table saw. I've used it as a weed whacker. I don't have a weed whacker and I had to fill the holes in. So these are all things in the video I may or may not skip over. And I just got done with my hatchet and I weed whacked all that away. I've sharpened about 8 or 9 times. And when I first got it, when I started throwing it, I put a really nice edge. I pulled out my sharpeners and I put like a professional edge, because I used to sharpen stuff kind of professionally. It was for a business I worked for. It wasn't my main duties, but it was something I did for work, at work. But in no way was I a professional knife sharpener, I just did it. So I know a bit about, and then using the straight, well, obviously, when I used to use the straight razor, I know about sharpening, so I put this edge, a shaving edge, on this hatchet. Well, that didn't last long because it's a $7 hatchet, and that edge didn't last long. And about every day I had to stop and sharpen it halfway through the day, and I got to the point where I'd sharpen it with like my flat disc on my angle grinder, and then I got to the point where I got some files, and I just started filing it just enough so it would get through the task I needed. I love this hatchet. It's 3 weeks old, and it looks like it's been through war and back. It looks like a piece of garbage, and I mean, it is kind of crappy, but it's not. For being a $7 hatchet, it's done everything I've asked it to, but because it's a $7 hatchet, it needs a lot of work, and I've had I've mushroomed the end off the back, the pole, so I've had to straighten that out, and I've chipped the blade numerous times, and I got to the point I was using it exclusively almost when I was working on this fence, that instead of actually like grinding the chips out, I was just sharpening around the chips. I figured when I'm completely done, then I'll put a decent back edge on it. But I should write to this company because it's a pretty good hatchet. Anyway, again, I'm rambling. This is probably the cocktail. It's probably because I'm trying to get my mind off the flight and missing my flight. Anyway, so I see I've reached my time, so this is just a little touch-in, and I will do those videos when I get back when I can, and I'm trying to do my patented mullet flick, but my fingers are kind of stuck, so until next time, thanks for watching the Mully Stash Show.